then the last thing we're going to do in 4.3 is we are going to add and subtract polynomials as functions. So the only thing that's going to differ from what we did in 4.2 is that the questions are going to be written differently. You're going to be asked to do something like f plus g of x, and you're supposed to know what that means. So function notation, f plus g of x means that you're going to add the f of x function and the g of x function. If there was a minus sign between, you would be subtracting the two functions. So in this example, they're trying to get you to take the f of x function and add to it the g of x function. So in this case, we've got f of x being 3x squared plus 8x. And then we've got the g of x function being 4x minus 8. And then we're simply adding. So we're looking to see if there's any like terms. The brackets don't do anything, right? This is adding, so it's 3x squared plus 8x plus 4x minus 8. These would be my like terms. I would end up with 3x squared plus 12x minus 8. Then they might get you to do something like find f plus g at -1. We have the f plus g of x expression, so we can simply plug in -1 for x. So if f plus g of x is 3x squared plus 12x minus 8, you'd have 3, replace that x with a -1, plus 12, replace that x with a -1, minus 8, which would give you 3 times -1 squared would be 3 times 1. 12 times -1 is -12, minus 8. So then I have -20 plus 3, which would be -17. If the question asks you to do f plus g of x first, and then f plus g at -1, that's what I would do. If you were just asked this without being asked to do this first, you could find f at 1, find g at 1, and then or at -1, and then add the two answers together. Or you could write it like this. You could do both at once, right? You could say, okay, my f of x function is that 3x squared plus 8x. And then my g of x function is 4x minus 8. So you could put the -1 in at the same time. So I really like doing this first. I like doing everything in terms of x, adding them together, then putting the -1 in. You could do them both at the same time, or you could simply find f at -1, g at -1, and then just add the two answers together. So totally up to you how you want to do them, but you should get the same answer. So for this one, we end up with 3 minus 8 is -5, plus -4 minus 8 is -12, which also gives me -17, right? So it doesn't matter how you do this one, but if I did this first, I would just put it in, and if I didn't, I would maybe think about doing this or doing f at -1, g at -1, and then adding the two answers together. They could also ask you to subtract. So this question is saying find f of x and then take away the g of x. So this time, instead of adding, I'm subtracting. So my f of x function is 3x squared plus 8x. And then from it, I'm going to take away the 4x minus 8. So for this one, you would distribute the minus sign to get 3x squared plus 8x minus 4x minus plus 8, right? -4x plus 8. And then you could collect like terms to get 3x squared plus 4x plus 8, right? Or you could stack them when you did that, doesn't matter. And then lastly, you could be asked to do g minus h at -3. So A, we haven't dealt with h yet, and B, this is one where they haven't asked you to do the of x first. So what you could do is you could find g at -3 and then take away h at -3. But I think what I would do is find g minus h at x first. Right? So I'm going to take my g of x function, and I'm going to take away my h of x function. And then that's going to give me 4x minus 8 plus 2x. Just scroll down. Right? So this is my g of x function, and I'm taking away the h of x function, which now when I collect like terms, I get 6x minus 8. Now I can find g minus h at negative 3. Again, you could have put negative 3 in at this point as well. It doesn't matter. I just find sometimes when things are simpler, it's easier to do. So you could find 6 at negative 3, or times negative 3 minus 8, which would give you what? Negative 18 minus 8, which is negative 26, right? Or I could have found g at negative 3, h at negative 3, subtracted the two answers, or I could have put the negative 3, as soon as I knew that this is where the x was going to be, I could put it in here, right? And then I could see what I get. All right, good luck.